All right, we need to talk about a new development, or I do. Okay, so Tesla tweeted out a blog post yesterday that there's going to be a idle fee at Superchargers, meaning once your car is done supercharging, you have to unplug it. Otherwise, you will get a 40-cent per minute fee, refunded if you move the car within 5 minutes, but otherwise you get charged. And of course, how are they going to charge people since we don't have credit cards or anything on file with Tesla? And they said, well, it's your next service appointment. You'll be charged for that. So it won't be an immediate negative impact. So mixed feelings about this. First, why did this happen? Basically because of the superchargers in California and or the high use of them. California, I believe, has the densest population of Teslas, particularly around the Bay Area, and those superchargers are often quite crowded, and people have been complaining that Teslas that are done charging have just sat there. And Elon Musk responded to a tweet from somebody talking about the San Mateo supercharger and those behaviors being there. And Elon Musk, in his typical brief to the point way, said, it's a problem, I'll do something. So he did. So what do I think? Well, I think the concept is needed. I think that's a good idea. I think as more and more Teslas are on the road, that was close. I think that there needs to be something to incentivize people to move their Teslas from the slots that other people need to get on their way, to charge and get on their way. Now, and I don't really care about the fee amount, like 40 cents, if it was higher or lower, it doesn't really matter to me. But the timing is a little off, because when I'm on long distance trips, there are times that I have to charge an hour at least to get to my next supercharger, and an hour is a long time. So I might go to a restaurant, and let's say I'm by myself. Let's say I'm finishing my meal and the car is done charging, and it's a 5-minute walk away maybe, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and let's say like I haven't gotten the check yet for the meal. I mean, I can't just duck out and then be like, I'll be back in 10 minutes. When I'm basically done with the meal, to go move my car, walk back, and then pay the bill, and then go back to the car. Like, that's a colossal waste of time. So I think there needs to be something to account for the fact that you can't time long charge times in a convenient manner to that preciseness if you're going to make use of the time and go do something. Having said that, you do want to prevent people from just sitting there, but so one thing that people have said is like, well, you shouldn't be penalizing people that are plugged in if there's another slot there that's open that somebody could take, which is legit. And you could argue that, well, if there's only B slots, you're going to sit there and charge longer. But let's say somebody is idle at an A spot. That's the thing; they're actually idle. So if somebody plugs into a B spot, even though it is the B supercharger, it should still get the full amount of charge because the other one is sitting there idle. So in other words, bottom line is, it doesn't make sense if there's plenty of space at the supercharger. It doesn't make sense to penalize people that happen to be there for a little extra time. And I agree with that. And also, outside of California, for example, here in Michigan, and also in the middle of the U.S., which I've gone through several times along Interstate 70, and then I forget what the freeway is between Los Angeles and Vegas. But anyway, a lot of those chargers, I was the only one. There would be 4 stalls there, and I'm the only one charging, particularly out in Kansas, Utah, sometimes Missouri. So, I think the penalty structure should reflect the demographics or the usage of whatever supercharger that it's targeting. So in California, because they're so crowded, whether you're penalized if there's free spots or if there's no free spots, a lot of these chargers, there's hardly any free spots. You end up waiting. So in those circumstances, you want people to be hyper vigilant about making space for the next person. But in other areas, that shouldn't be the case. And also in these other areas that aren't as used, convenience places to go while your car is charging are not as frequent. So, maybe it's a 60-second walk to a coffee shop at the ones in California, but maybe one in the middle of Nevada or in the middle of Kansas, maybe it's a little bit longer walk to get somewhere to wait conveniently or to get a bite to eat. And I like to use the language, grab a cup of coffee or a bite to eat specifically, because that's the language that Tesla has repeatedly said you're supposed to do at a supercharger, because they keep saying they're so fast that by the time you get a cup of coffee or grab a bite to eat, you should be ready to be on your way. And that's kind of true, but like I was saying before, you do have to charge for an hour plus sometimes if you have a Tesla like mine, which is the 70. And so, by the time I grab a bite to eat, maybe the car's done, but I still have to walk. I still have to get my stuff together and walk back. And like I said, maybe I'm at a restaurant. Maybe I can't get back in time. Maybe it's going to take 10 minutes. And I'm the only one at the supercharger. Like, it makes no sense to charge me. And really, it's mainly just a principle thing. Like, let's say I'm there for 10 minutes. That's a fee of $4. In the scheme of life, $4 isn't a lot, but it's a negative input to what is otherwise a very fun and positive experience. And that's what I don't want to change about my Tesla driving experience. So we'll see how it has an impact. I'm really curious about what that's going to look like at the California ones. I don't have any long trips currently planned right now, and so I won't be able to experience how it affects my trips and stuff. But I do hope that they make those modifications to either not penalize if there's plenty of spots, or have a better buffer zone or buffer period. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Sorry about the decreased visibility. There's a real-time update to the supercharger availability issue. So Elon just tweeted that they're going to modify it so that you're not fined if there's plenty of superchargers available. So that makes sense. And that was a pretty fast reply to concerns that people had in that regard. So that's pretty cool.